Some moments on television aren't loud. They don't come with breaking news banners or dramatic music. They arrive quietly and stay with you longer. In a recent conversation, Ripa didn't talk about fame or headlines. She talked about family, about life, about the kind of love that grows with time. Sitting beside her was Consuelos, not interrupting, not performing, just listening. This wasn't a show segment, it was an honest moment, and viewers felt every word.
Ripa and Consuelos have spent decades in the public eye, but every so often they allow viewers to see something quieter, something deeply human. Not a headline moment, not a dramatic announcement, just honesty. In a recent emotional conversation, Ripa opened up about family, life, and love, sitting beside the person who has shared her journey for years, Consuelos. It wasn't loud, it wasn't scripted, and that's exactly why it resonated.
A relationship built beyond television. Kelly and Mark's relationship has always fascinated fans, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. They met early in their careers, grew together through success, pressure, parenting, and change. Over the years, they've spoken openly about the challenges of marriage, especially one lived in the spotlight. In this emotional moment, Kelly reflected not on fame, but on partnership. She spoke about how life doesn't slow down just because cameras are on. Family responsibilities remain, emotional weight remains, and love, if it's real, must adapt. One of the most touching parts of Kelly's conversation was her focus on family. She didn't talk about big events or dramatic milestones. Instead, she spoke about everyday moments, quiet dinners, missed calls, shared worries, and the way family dynamics shift as time moves forward. Mark listened closely, not interrupting, not performing, just present. That presence said more than words ever could. For many viewers, this was relatable. Fame fades in moments like these, and what remains is the universal truth. Family is complex, emotional, and constantly evolving. Kelly acknowledged that long-term love isn't about staying the same. It's about growing together, even when growth is uncomfortable. She spoke about learning to communicate differently, to listen more, and to understand that love changes shape over time. Mark added perspective through quiet agreement, small gestures, nods, and subtle expressions that showed shared understanding. It wasn't a performance, it was a partnership. What made this moment powerful was what it didn't include. There were no shocking revelations, no exaggerated emotions, no attempts to go viral. Instead, there was emotional honesty. Kelly admitted that balancing work, marriage, and family isn't always graceful. Some days are overwhelming. Some conversations are hard. But love, when rooted in respect, allows space for imperfection. That message landed deeply with viewers.
Consuelos didn't dominate the conversation, and that mattered. His role in this moment was one of support, not spotlight. He allowed Kelly to speak, to reflect, and to be vulnerable. When he did speak, his words were measured and thoughtful, reinforcing the idea that emotional strength doesn't always mean speaking the loudest. Sometimes, it means listening.
Fans reacted strongly, not because the moment was dramatic, but because it was genuine. In a media world full of exaggeration, this calm, emotional exchange felt refreshing. Comments reflected appreciation for emotional maturity, honest conversations about marriage, respectful communication, realistic portrayals of long-term love. Many viewers said they saw themselves in Kelly's words. Kelly also touched on how love extends beyond romance into friendship, shared responsibility, and mutual respect. She spoke about choosing each other daily, even when routines become repetitive and life feels heavy. This perspective shifted the narrative from fairy tale romance to something deeper and more sustainable. Over the years, Kelly and Mark have faced rumors, pressure, and public scrutiny. Yet moments like this show how they've protected what matters most. Kelly emphasized boundaries, keeping some parts of life private, even while working on a public platform. That balance has helped their relationship endure. One of the most important takeaways from this moment was Kelly's willingness to be emotionally open without oversharing. She didn't seek sympathy, she shared perspective. That approach made her message stronger and more relatable. This emotional exchange didn't rely on shock value, and it didn't need it. Its strength came from authenticity. Kelly Ripa talking about family, life, and love, supported by Mark Consuelos, reminded viewers that meaningful moments don't need dramatic framing. Sometimes, calm honesty is enough. As the conversation ended, one thing was clear. This wasn't about television ratings or headlines. It was about connection. Kelly and Mark reminded viewers that love evolves, family anchors us, and emotional honesty still matters, even in a fast-paced world. And maybe that's why this moment stayed with people long after the cameras moved on. Comment, what did this moment mean to you? Did Kelly's words resonate with your own experiences of family or long-term love? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this conversation moved you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more meaningful moments.
As the conversation slowly came to an end, there was no big conclusion, no dramatic statement, and no final headline moment. And somehow, that made it even more powerful. Kelly Ripa didn't try to sum everything up perfectly. She didn't offer a lesson wrapped in a quote. Instead, she left viewers with something much more real. The understanding that life, family, and love are always unfinished conversations. Sitting beside her, Mark Consuelos didn't rush to fill the silence. His presence alone said enough. In that quiet space, viewers saw what long-term love often looks like. Not constant excitement, but consistency. Not grand gestures, but showing up. Kelly reflected on how family changes over time, how roles shift, priorities evolve, and the people you love don't stay frozen in one moment. She reminded viewers that loving someone for years means learning them again and again, sometimes in ways you never expected. What stood out most was her honesty. She didn't pretend everything is easy. She didn't suggest that balance magically appears. She acknowledged that some days feel heavy, even when life looks successful from the outside. And that truth resonated deeply. For many watching, this wasn't just Kelly Ripa speaking. It felt like a familiar voice, someone saying out loud what so many people quietly feel. The pressure to hold everything together, the effort it takes to stay connected, the beauty of choosing love, even on ordinary days. Mark's quiet support reinforced that message. Love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's listening. Sometimes it's simply staying present when someone else needs the space to speak. This moment didn't ask viewers to react loudly. It invited them to reflect, to think about their own families, their own relationships, their own versions of love that may not look perfect, but are real. And maybe that's why this moment stayed with people long after the cameras moved on. Because it wasn't about celebrity, it was about connection. Now we'd love to hear from you. What part of this conversation resonated most with your own life? Did Kelly's words reflect something you've experienced in your family or relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. And if you appreciate calm, honest conversations like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us for more meaningful moments ahead.